NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
I never set a goal to make the NFR every year. You know, like I just expect that of myself. I know I ride good enough to be here. So, you know, obviously my end goal every year is to win a gold buckle, and you know, making the NFR is just part of that.
You know, you paid attention to it a little bit, but the main thing is to stay focused and stay in your lane and take care of yourself. And what the other guys do, and what they draw, if you let that bother you, you're wasting your energy. If you did your job and all you could do, you can't do no more.
Yes, right.
And it puts the pressure on the next guy that he's got to do his job the same or as better than you did.
This is pro rodeo announcer Andy Seiler, and you are listening to NFR Extra. We are so happy to have Ryder Wright and Brad Gjermundson on today. So we are featuring world champions from 1985 and last season. And I want to start by saying I am so glad I've never had to spell Brad's last name, because that would be the easiest way for me to lose $20.
Let me tell you, typing it multiple times and planning this, I'm not going to lie when I say I had to make sure every time, letter for letter, that I spelled it right.
When I was a rookie, got my permit, I left the G off, so it was easier for the announcers.
All right, so going back to 1985, whenever you came to the NFR in Vegas, had you ever been here before?
Before, yeah. I'd been here to the Eldorado Rodeo and stuff like that, so yeah.
Okay.
Never in the Thomas and Mack, but yep, I've been to the rodeo here.
So what are your first memories of coming here in 85?
Oh, just, you know, being a new place, riding for double the money and just things like that. When you rolled into town, you were taken care of. Your hotel was taken care of, and the host hotel for the Bronc riding was at the Tropicana, and I believe it was a brand new hotel that year. And this morning on TV, I seen the hotel's gone, and they're building a baseball stadium in that spot. So it's pretty different. A lot of change.
And a round paid what?
Oh, a round paid $8,000.
$8,000.
Yep.
Okay.
And had been $4,000 at Oklahoma City.
And the first NFR you qualified was where?
In 1981 at Oklahoma City.
Okay. So from 4 to 8,000, rounds doubled. Average paid what?
Oh, average at Oklahoma City paid, I guess, $8,000, and the average here paid just double, maybe 16. Or not sure.
So if you take us through those 10 rounds of competition, and obviously we're going to talk a little bit about how horses and equipment have both changed over the years, but at what point during that year did you feel like you were in contention for that world title?
Well, I think all season long, I had a strong season, but never way in the lead or anything like that. And when we got here and the rounds paid that much, things changed pretty quickly. And by the time the 10th round came, I believe there was 4 guys that had a chance to be the world champion in the last go round. And I had a horse, Benny Butler's, called Good Times, and he's, you know, good to ride horse, and just had a good day, and ended up, I didn't win the round, but I guess I must have won the most of the 4 that I had a little bit of a lead, you know, a few thousand lead. So, but I think I had place in the top 4 because the rounds only paid 4 monies then.
So without pulling out a media guide, who were the other 3 guys?
Bud Pauley, Clint Johnson, and I think Hawkeye.
Okay. All right. So Good Times is the one that got you over the top and put the gold buckle in your corner.
Yep.
That's
that
awesome.
year, yep.
So now we fast forward 40 years later, and Ryder, this is your third gold buckle. What do you do to kind of keep your razor sharp? Because I think for some champions, it's easy to get complacent and to fall back on what you've already done. What keeps you coming back and keeps your knife sharp?
Just I think keeping or trying to stay mentally positive and stuff like that. I've had bad NFRs in the past years, and it's always been something that was going on in my head. I can't remember what year it was for sure, but I come in with a big lead and completely dropped the ball. I got in my own head, and so I'm real big on trying to keep a good mental game. Usually when my mind's sharp, I feel like I'm kind of hard to beat. So I just try to remember that and stay out of my own way. I feel like I'm my own worst enemy.
Stylistically, the way they stack the pins, is there a night that you prefer? Is there a night that you get really, really excited for?
Oh, definitely the TV pin, 5th and the 10th round. Those are definitely my favorite ones to get on. But there's no better feeling than winning the go around in the eliminator pin. That's a good feeling to get past those horses and to win the round. It's pretty special.
Who's your pick in the TV pin?
It's hard to. There's so many good horses, but the 10th round last year, All or Nothing was definitely the one I wanted to have. He's good to ride, but he's super flashy and give you a chance to win on him every single time. So that was kind of the scenario I needed in the 10th round. And so when I seen that's what I had drawn, I was jumping up and down like a little girl in my hotel room.
Oh. So through the years, and I feel this way about the entire industry. Speaking of horses, the breeding programs for both performance and bucking stock has really kind of dialed into a point where they're not throwing darts as much as they used to. And you still talk to stock contractors. It's kind of a 50-50 proposition as to whether or not a horse works out or not. But what do you feel like has changed the most, Brad, since when you started and the horse flesh that you see everybody getting on today?
Well, there's a big difference. I believe in the 80s, horses that went to the NFR in the 80s, only 20% of them would make it.
20%, really?
That's what I think, because there's so many. Everybody has so many more. There used to be a top, a middle, and a bottom in every pen. Now I'd say it's maybe a top and a middle. You still got a chance on any horse in the pen, depending on how everybody else matches up. But just with the breeding programs and everything they do, there's just a lot more potential to take the draw fact out of the rodeo. But there's still a top and there's always a favorite pick, and it'll be a different horse for everybody because some guys don't match up with the right, the horse that matches up with them.
And we've also been talking to multiple athletes about what they practice on, and it seems like even what people have at home is much tougher than it used to be. Dean Thompson was telling us he's got an NFR horse at home, and you've said the same thing, correct, Ryder?
Yeah, we have a couple. They're older, but they are good NFR horses that people have won a lot of money on. So honest, that's what I think. Good, honest bucking horses are what is made for the practice pen. If I go home and get on a practice horse, I don't want something that's going to try to rip my head off and lawn dart me. I'm wanting something that's going to just jump and kick around in a circle and let me fill my saddle, because that's, usually when I'm getting on a practice horse, I'm trying to get some things dialed in on my saddle.
I have to go back to the fact that we're looking at 8,000 in the payouts for the round, and last year it was 33,000, and this year we're just shy of 40,000. But yet we're still competing dollar for dollar in the last round. What was it like for you guys going through your rounds? Were you a watcher? Did you look at the stats every day when you were riding, Brad?
No, you paid attention to it a little bit, but the main thing is to stay focused and stay in your lane and take care of yourself. Don't beat yourself. Take care of yourself, and what the other guys do and what they draw if you let that bother you, you're not going to do as good. You're wasting your energy for your, save it for yourself.
Yes, sir. Ryder, you don't care, right?
I feel that like the same way he does. It's hard to stay away from it completely because everybody's talking about it. Like Stetson this year, he was all into that stuff. He wasn't riding, so he was all into the numbers, and like Rusty's always been a numbers guy, and so it's hard to stay away from it completely. But I don't like to go searching for it, and making scenarios up that don't need to be there. Like he said, you can't worry about what somebody else has got drawn because you can't do anything about it. You just go out and ride the horse that you have drawn to the best of your ability, and let the cards fall where they may.
All right. Go into settings, silence all text from Stetson.
That's right there. At the end of the
disturb.
performance, if you did your job and all you could do, you can't do no more.
Yes, sir.
And it puts the pressure on the next guy that he's got to do his job the same or better than you did.
Well, and in 4 decades, too, I know there's been a lot of advances in equipment or changes in equipment. So saddles that were made in the 80s, not just bronc riding saddles, but competition saddles have changed as well. But what do you feel like has changed the most in today's equipment, Mr. Brad?
Oh, I think, I guess the Bronc saddles have been modified some, and it makes for good bronc riding, and I don't know that much about them because I don't cinch one down anymore.
Right.
But you hear all kinds of things, and it'd just be good if they're making the changes that I think the rule book could follow whatever changes they're making, and it makes it the same for everybody.
So, Ryder, your saddle, how much do you mess with it during the year?
I try to mess with it as little as possible, because that is not something you want to get into. Changing things, taking this up, letting this out, and stuff like that. That's really when you get heavy into that really starts messing with your mind. When I get in the buck and shoot, I want to know when I nod my head, my saddle's going to feel good and not. Well, I just took it up a hole from last night. I wonder how it's going to feel when I throw my feet up there on my mark out. So I really try not to, I'll address a problem if it's blatantly obvious and something needs to be changed, but I really try to not adjust things. There's a lot of bronc riders out there. They'll go be 90 points and come back to the locker room and, I need to take this up. And, I can't do that. I just got to keep it, I want to know it's going to feel good. And I think leaving it where it's at when you do good and stuff like that,
Okay, so you just brought something up, and I'm part of this idiot sector that doesn't know as much as you guys do about setting a saddle. So if there's somebody listening to this podcast that has never seen the intricate parts of a bronc saddle, what are the things that you could be adjusting, right? So just teach us a little bit about what adjustments you would need to make to your bronc saddle.
Well, really, there's only 2. You got your quarter binds your quarter binds, your length, and then your binds. So there's not that many adjustments, but it's, I don't know, it's a lot more technical, for me. I don't know about Brad, but like for me, if something's feeling really crappy, I can take it up, one hole and it can make the biggest difference in the world. So, but I don't know if it's like that for everybody. So
there is some difference on with your front binds and stuff. When you cinch your saddle down on a horse, some of them cinch diff, some of them cinch lower, or if a horse is thicker, and then the next go around you get a slimmer built horse.
Yes, sir.
There could be some change difference in it, but it shouldn't. You should have it set, like Ryder said earlier, about getting on a good practice horse to set his saddle. And when you leave home to go to the NFR or any rodeo, you got to have confidence that you got it set what's going to fit, all horses. They could feel a little tight on some and a little loose on some, but you should be okay with that. And you shouldn't let that bother you, get in your head, because I think everybody that fights their head over something, it's easy to blame your saddle. And most of the time, it's just get on and ride and forget about it, and ride like you can. Just do your job. Yeah.
Operator error. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad always said you want it a little bit loose on the smaller ones, a little bit snug on the big ones, and then those good-sized horses is going to feel just perfect.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back.
It's that time of year. It's time for Vegas. Finding your custom NFR experience can start now. This resource makes your NFR planning so much easier. At nfrexperience.com/stay your way, you can shop for the hotel that best fits your plans. You can find information on viewing parties, concerts, price, transportation, location, and so much more, all in one place. Don't waste time searching for your NFR experience. We have you covered. Go to nfrexperience.com/stay your way. It's time for Vegas. Stay your way.
So speaking of operator errors, I'm curious how your scheduling always goes, but more specifically here in Las Vegas. Brad, what did it look like during the day for you in Vegas? Because I know Ryder kind of gets pulled around. He has to go to all the different autograph sessions and be active everywhere. But what did it look like for you in 85?
Well, back then, I don't believe you couldn't wear sponsorship on your shirt. And and I don't think that started till about the 90s or something. I'm not sure, but couldn't. So you had the whole day. You didn't go here and there for sponsorship stuff. Or the only sponsorship you could wear on your shirt is if it was a pro rodeo, Dodge,
National.
Coors, Wrangler, national sponsorship. And I think that was in the 90s that they opened, but I'm not in the early 90s.
All right, hold on. Before you talk about your day, Ryder, Brad, what did you drive or fly into Vegas?
We usually drove.
What'd you drive?
Well, a Dodge.
What was it? A diesel or?
Oh no! Them years 85, I Dodge give a pickup to the world champion, and since I was 83, 84, then I had that. But our family, when we usually drove a Suburban.
Okay. Well, it was the reason I asked that is we talked to Joe a few months back, and Joe was talking about his 454 that he drove into town, and he got a speeding ticket in Henderson. And the guy asked him how fast he was going. He said, "I don't know. I just mashed it to the floor and let off just a little bit." So
fast as it goes.
Yeah. But Ryder, a day in the life in 2024. I mean, on a typical day when you're at the NFR, what's it look like from start to finish?
Oh, it's usually pretty busy. Wake up, go sign autographs at the Cowboy Christmas. Sometimes we'll do a couple in a day. We always try to leave like the Buck and Horse sale and the futurity and stuff open so we can go watch that. But we're usually signing autographs, running around like chickens with our heads cut off down here, which isn't always a bad thing. It kind of keeps your mind off of it all day long. You got stuff going on. So it's not too bad.
How cool is it? Because I look back to the Ettbauers of the world who could bring their whole family, and they're competing against family members. How cool is it to be able to rodeo inside the Thomas and Mack with your brothers? Oh,
it's awesome. We've dreamed of this since we were little kids, since my dad first started coming here. It's always something that we've just expected of ourselves. Like I tell people a lot, like I never set a goal to make the NFR every year, I just expect that of myself, because I know I ride good enough to be here. So, obviously my end goal every year is to win a gold buckle, and making the NFR is just part of that. So, but yeah, being here with my brother, they all have the same mindset as I do. Yeah, it's pretty special to be here with family. My brothers. We've just grown up dreaming of this, and we've just dreamt it into reality.
What are the biggest style differences between you, Stetson, and Statler?
Oh, that would be a better question for somebody else.
Does one of you show up on time and one of you is always late?
Oh, it seems like we're always all a little bit late. We get that from my parents.
After the bareback riding started, it's
well,
usually when they're rolling in.
Oh, well, barebacks. Yeah, we need to. Okay.
Guess I'll get my saddle ready.
Yeah.
It's fine. Were you early arriver when you were rodeoing? Did you have to be there?
Yeah, I like to be there early. Really, if you're 5 minutes late, you're late for, on your own schedule. You might be an hour early, but if you plan on being an hour and a half early and you're only an hour early, you're late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'd say about Ryder and Rusty and Stetson, or all of them, that they all got the same. They're all aggressive, and they all they lay it on the line every time they nod their head. Yeah.
So who do you like watching today, Brad? I mean, to me, the saddle bronc riding is as talented as it's ever been. I mean, from the top 30, there's a lot of guys that you could circle names and go, I'm surprised this guy hasn't made the NFR yet. And so who do you really like watching?
We do. I'm involved in doing a couple big bronc matches in North Dakota, and so you get the draw, and we try and screen the horses, and we get the top 30 or 32 guys in the world, and you look down the list, and I don't know all the horses, but I try and pick out, this is going to be really good in this, and it's really hard because there's a lot of good guys, and horses might not have the best day some days, but I mean, there is just a lot of good guys that ride good, and there's a few of them getting, have been there 10 years now or something, and they're still top of their game, And then there's some of the beginners, that are not beginners, but I mean,
Yes, sir.
the up and comers, and I just the other day was watching and was at Deadwood at the rodeo, and there's a couple young guys, Coleman Shellbetter and Gus Gaillard,
Yes,
and I mean, I really think them guys are young and getting after it, and I really think they're going to be a couple new spots at the NFR.
You stole two of the three names that I was going to mention. So Gus, that's perfect, because that tells me that maybe I do know a little bit about what I'm doing. But I watched Gus win the college finals, and then watched him win Monte Vista right after that. So it was neat to see those things happen kind of back to back, because it shows that, all right, winning the college finals wasn't a fluke. But the other one that I think has really started to kind of take off is Weston Patterson rode the black tie at Logandale in 24, and I thought it was a really good ride. He didn't get a check. And so next year, this season, he wins a pretty good check at Houston, and it just seems like his stars continue to rise. And so that just really has me excited. Maybe not for Ryder because it's more competition, but
we like it better that way.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, because all boats rise together, right? I mean, you need iron to sharpen iron. And so when you have more good guys coming along, that just shows you, hey, you can't sit in the recliner. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Every given night, a different, somebody could step up and win it. And that's, that makes a great NFR and top, or any bronc match, any of them extreme or any rodeo. It's just that at the NFR and the extreme events, the horses are more even than individual rodeos, more contractors and more horsepower.
So, Brad, I don't think you're talking about coming out of retirement, but are there any horses today that you look at and you're like, God, I really wish I could have gotten on that one back in the day?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them that look really good, and I'm not sure I could have rode them, but they're sure enough. Like I said before, the draw is, I feel you got a 70 or 80% chance of winning something every time you nod your head nowadays compared to what it used to be a drawing contest.
All right, outside of the NFR, where do you look at different spots that you're like, okay, if I could get on this horse at this place, what do you have in mind, Ryder?
Like, where would I like to get on a good horse?
No, like what place would you like to match up with certain horses? Like, this contractor is going to be at this rodeo. Like, what, you being a Utah guy, like, is there a horse that you'd love to draw at Spanish Fork or?
Well, St. Paul's coming up, and the black tie goes there. So
okay,
fingers crossed there.
That would be a great matchup at St. Paul.
Yeah, I think any rodeo you go to, you'd probably bucking horse of the year. No matter what it is, it is.
The horse has got a gold buckle, and you do too.
Yeah, and you still got to do your job to win first, or you don't, because you can be bucked off, or anything can happen.
So rodeo is very humbling.
Yeah. Very humbling. Amen to that.
That was like Statler this past weekend. He went to Nashville. He was 86.5 in Nashville. Was 86 in Santa Maria the next day. The next night he was 89.5 in Harriman. He goes to Moab, 71 points. Yeah. I told him, I said, yeah, rodeo is such a humbling sport, ain't it? Yeah, it's crazy. The highest highs and the lowest lows.
Brad, what have you learned on the production side, since you're talking about putting those events on? And I know the Wright family has put some different events on as well. What has been the one thing that, or couple of things that you've learned from producing an event?
Well, being involved in them, the thing that draws the cowboys is the purse and the stock, and things that draw the crowd are them same two things, and the matchups that you get with them. And if you don't have as even as you can make it for all of them, our goal when we do ours is to have the horses all good enough that nobody turns out, because that's just the way turnouts. I mean, you can get replacements and they fit right in and they're just as good, and sometimes they win the event, but it's still just that's what the crowd is really disappointed if there was a list of 30 guys and 6 of them don't show up. It hurts your whole event, even with replacements so the stock and the purse brings the crowd. You need the crowd to keep an event going.
Yes, you do. Amen. You need somebody in a blue shirt to show up.
And we've been real fortunate. The Wrights have been, and all the top, guys have been really good at coming to our events.
Well, and you're in bronc riding country too. North and South Dakota. I've got the distinct privilege of doing Belle-Fourche, and there's certain places where, if you're not on your game as far as an announcer goes and paying attention, knowing who these people are, you're not going to get booed, but they will kind of look at you out of the corner of their eye, like, hey, you're supposed to know who this individual is.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the events, whatever, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, most of the rodeo crowds there, they're tough crowds. They know a lot about it. It's not like you're in a city. It's not like you're in, I don't know, whatever, Nashville or even Salt Lake, where there's so many people. I mean, it takes a big area in our country to draw 2,000 people. They come from 5 different states in Canada, and because they all know bronc riding, and they all know rodeo, every event, and it's tough to.
Well, we joke about it too, because we always see that one rancher that's sitting up there with his arms folded and he's staring because he knows, right? I mean, you can joke with him about whoever this is competing, but 2 days ago he was at a branding, and his his calluses have calluses. So, I mean, if you're going to try to BS somebody, it's not going to be one of those people. But speaking of Brandon, you guys have just finished up, correct, Ryder?
Yep. We just got done last Monday. Yeah, a week ago. Memorial Day.
Who's the handiest person?
Me.
Oh.
Because he's got those nice horses he's bringing up.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Oh.
No. Yeah.
Who's on the ground?
My dad's the boss man.
Ah.
Yeah, he just kind of tells everybody what to do.
Do you head and heel them or drag them out or?
The real little ones. So like this year's calves will heel them and drag them to the North Forks, and we had about 40 head of fall calves from last year that we had and healed. And I told my dad, throw them damn North Forks away. That was heading and healing was way funner. It's a little chaotic, but it's way funner.
Is there anybody that got told they're not allowed to rope anymore?
Some should have. My dad's too nice.
Oh,
And
that's
on that note,
yeah. Well, makes for a good dinner conversation coming up. But no, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure, and the generations have done nothing but get better and better, and we're so thankful for your time and your experience and your wisdom. So we appreciate you guys sharing both of those with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit NFRexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.